Good evening, sir. Prashant sir is just coming.
Okay, no problem. Good evening. Good
Yes.
evening.
Yeah. So we're getting started in 3 minutes, please. Thank you for your time, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
So namaste and welcome all of you. Thank you so much for your time today. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Kishor sir for taking his busy schedule and coming over here. I requested him a month ago, and sir was kind enough, to provide his time and energy towards this in Sciversation. He's always smiling, energetic, and most importantly, a benevolent scientist, a fatherly-like figure, a wonderful mentor, and more than that, he has got a healing touch through the wonderful homeo medication that he gives to many fortunate students, including me. Just to give a kind of a brief introduction about Sir today, Professor Kishor sir is a graduate from MS University of Baroda. Then he went on to gain several years of postdoctoral years of experience, and most amazingly, he has produced over 50 PhD fellows, over 45 years of his illustrious career. He, after taking up Osmania University as his main college, he went on to serve Osmania University as Professor Emeritus for over 8 years before he joined Vignan University last year, where he is currently leading the Vignan University in the deanery position. Professor Kishor sir is a recipient of Professor Hiralal Chakravarti Award, which is most dear to his heart, and also he won the Best Teacher Award in 2008 for the state of Andhra Pradesh. Then Sir has over 265 papers to his credit. I repeat, 265 papers, which is probably not for anyone who could probably think of. And he has over 7 books to his credit, where he has written several series of books and several book chapters and several theses refer-based, and as well as a recipient of several honorary positions, both within and as well as outside India. He has also been a frequent invitee as a PhD examiner in various states of India, and he keeps traveling a lot. And most importantly, Sir is an absolutely a simple man. He has produced not only wonderful scientists, but also is even through his retired life. The only scientist who keeps working, 7 days a week around the clock. Thank you so much, sir, for having with us today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to have a scientific conversation with you, and also to meet all your students and bioinformatics students and others via this Google Meet. And I appreciate your energies and also the time that we have been spending for improving the bioinformatics scenario in India, and also for educating several of our students, including Dr. Anil, Dr. Hima, and myself, in the areas of bioinformatics, especially. Thank you very much, sir, for organizing this conversation.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, just to put forth, Sir himself calls as a farmer. He is in fact a farmer, and he amazingly calls himself as a Raitu Kuli, which means he's a farmer and as well as a person who painstakingly works for the betterment of farming society. And he still does farming. And as a plant geneticist or a plant physiologist or essentially geneticist, he has developed several of his students to wonderful scientists. And today we have at least 3 or 4 students in this particular panel, and a few watching in YouTube live page as well. So we have Anil and Rajesh Marka as well over here. Thank you so much, Anil and Hima, and Marka for coming over here. Thank you so much. Sir, we have a few questions which probably we wanted to ask you. The very first question is, sir, you work almost 18 to 22 hours a day, which is quite amazing. And that too, you're an absolutely a simple scientist. You still use your two-wheeler to go anywhere, and at this point of time, what what has really transpired you, sir? What is that kind of energy in you that motivates you to do this?
Yeah. During my childhood, I never had been to any school. I mean, elementary school. And then, suddenly my father has put me in the high school, where I happened to learn ABC or A, I, E or 1, 2, 3. And my father used to say, because I'm a farmer by birth and also my father was a farmer, and my father used to say, if you don't study, you'll be like a buffalo or a cow. So if you study well, you can also enjoy life. So, and he used to always say, you need to work hard in order to come up in life. You cannot have a career by mere wishing and or by hoping. A career has to fought with hard work and great enthusiasm. So that is what my father has taught me, and also my grandmother and my brothers. So that I always keep it at the back of my mind, and I keep working. Otherwise, it would be difficult to cope up with the contemporary sciences, and also, if students ask any questions, because basically I'm a teacher. If students ask me any question, if I am not able to reply, if I am not able to keep myself up, in the areas of contemporary sciences, I have to keep a, or face a blind face. I have to keep. So therefore, I had to read myself and also write myself and also, publish papers. Otherwise, it would be difficult for me to do well in the areas of my discipline. So, so my father's words always keep me motivating me to carry out research and also to work hard. Further, when I was studying in the high school, almost that was sometime in the year 1965, 1964. I happened to uh, recite a poem, and also my teacher has said that poem, and then I had to recite that poem. It is in Telugu, but I will translate that one. I always, uh, recite that one in the classroom. Almost every classroom, I recite that one. And there are several students who have taken inspiration out of that poem. Let me recite that one. ఒకచో నేలను పవ్వళించు, ఒకచో ఒప్పారు పూసెజ్జపై, ఒకచో శాఖములు ఆరగించు, ఒకచో ఉత్కృష్ట శాల్యోదనంబు, సుఖమున్ దుఃఖమున్ మదిం దలంపడు కార్యసాధకుడు. What does it mean? It means ఒకచో నేలను పవ్వళించు means once one who wants to achieve something in life would sleep on the floor without any mattress. Sometimes he may sleep on the mattress which is decorated with flowers, and another time he would eat only something, few morsels of food, or few leaves only. Sakamula araginsu means only vegetarian food. But sometimes he would have utkrushta salyodanambu. That means Hyderabadi biryani, or a chicken biryani. So why he has to do all these things? Sukhamun dukhamun madindalam padu karya sadhakudu. That means if you want to achieve something in life, you should not mind sukhamun dukhamun. That means whether it is a happiness or whether it is grief or something else, you should not keep it in mind. So these things I always keep it at the back of my mind, and I try to work hard in order to come up or to come up to the standards of the students, at least.
Yeah,
Sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I mean, this is a wonderful portrait and a great answer. It's so inspiring, to take up this. Sir, I know you worked at MS University of Baroda. What was that kind of experience that you had in MS University of Baroda, which went on to uh, uh, gain, which went on to have an illustrious career in the form of Professor Kavi Kishor Bilhan?
Yeah. Basically, I went to Professor A.R. Atul Mehta's laboratory because he was carrying out some plant biotechnology at that time. Very few scientists. He was a student of Professor Herbert Street from England, at least. And he used to always tell me that Professor Herbert Street, when he was working at Leicester, it was a small place, and there were no railway stations, or there were no flights to that village. So several people wanted to visit Professor Herbert Street's laboratory at Leicester, and once Professor Herbert Street and also others have requested the government of England to have at least a railway station, and the result was Leicester has got a railway station that time. I'm talking about 1960s. So my professor used to say, Professor Mehta used to say, you see, because of Herbert Street, that village has got the railway station. You need to take such things in life as an inspiration, because Street was a great worker. You need to take such things in life as an inspiration, and then you need to work hard. And he was very few of those plant physiologists who was working on plant physiology as well as in plant tissue culture, plant biotechnology as such. And I was very much inspired when I saw for the first time plant tissue culture laboratory at MS University Baroda. I was thrilled to see how a leaf was unfolding into a callus mass. an undifferentiated mass of cells. And also I have seen that how this undifferentiated mass of cells could differentiate into a whole plant that can perform several functions. That was even an unanswered question to me. That has dragged me towards plant physiology or plant biotechnology or plant tissue culture, whatever you say, at MS University. So my 5 years of experience at MS University was almost I used to go around 5 o'clock or so in the morning, pretty early in the morning, and then we used to work late in the evening after taking lunch or dinner. Around 8 o'clock or so, we again used to go to the laboratory along with Dr. Ravishankar and other my colleagues. And we used to work late in the evenings till 12 o'clock and then go to the library. Those days, we never had any internet or anything. 12 o'clock, because the library was open 24 hours, we used to go to the library around 12 o'clock in the midnight. And then we used to refer some of the important journals till 2:30, 3 o'clock, go back to the hostel, sleep there, and get back to the department by 5 o'clock, at least myself, if not others. So those were the days. Those days were different. And you don't find such students these days. So thank you, sir. Yeah,
No, thank
you have
you.
reminded me. I have become a little bit nostalgic.
No,
You have reminded me of MS University, Baroda.
no,
Thank you.
no. Thank you, sir. I mean, it's and although it's nostalgic for you, it's a big inspiration for us. I'm sure the young generation. I'm sure at least the 50 PhD fellows whom you have produced, they have been wonderful, sir. All the 50 PhD fellows, at least. In fact, I have been privileged to have known at least 20 or 21 people. And I'll tell you my story, sir. If I can just take quick 1 minute. I was doing my MSc in 2002. I finished my MSc in June, but as a part of my partial fulfillment of my project, I started applying for various projects. And in December, I got a position for a project fellowship in CRRA Cuttack. And that's where Dr. Lambodar Behra was there. And I was just there for about 32 days before I got a call at CCMB. Then I had to leave. I thought that CCMB is a better place where I can learn. And then on the final day, Prash, you are from Hyderabad, and I'm surprised that you haven't really worked for Professor Kishor sir. I came to know about you, sir, at that point of time, and there were a lot of things going on. Although plant genetics was of not my interest. That was the first day, and immediately, since I was very familiar with internet and all, I still remember the day. It was 2002, January 27th. I was about to leave CRRA Cuttack to join CCMB Hyderabad. I sent an email to you. And then I got an email after 1 or 2 days, and I got that email that there are no project fellowships at this point of time, and all. But ever since Lambodar Behra and towards my postdoctoral years of experience, at least every year I used to meet one of your PhD fellows or one of your graduate students anywhere else throughout the countries that I visited or throughout my PhD fellowships or throughout my postdoctoral fellowships. I really felt very fortunate. I always got a kind of an inspiration on that. And one thing, always struck me. I always expand the names. So P.S. Polavarapu, which is the house name. Kishor sir is of course, your first name. And there is something called a middle name, Bilhan. So could you please tell us the story behind the nomenclature of Bilhan, sir, please?
Yeah. My father is a Vedic scholar, sir. He's a Vedic scholar, my father. As soon as I was born, he could predict everything in my life. And he knew a little bit that I could write poems or free verses. And also something like that, in Telugu, of course. Therefore, he named me as Bilhana Kavi Kishor. Bilhana was a Sanskrit poet. And there was a king called, Vikramaditya in Kashmir. And he wanted to teach something. He wanted to educate his own daughter. And then he has asked, all the, whosoever is working in the court, he has asked all those people to look for somebody who can teach her everything, almost science, mathematics, everything, not only Sanskrit, but also other things. Then those people have searched and finally said to the king that Bilhana Kavi, who is a poet in Sanskrit, he is the only fellow who can teach her and then make her a full, complete human being. Then, he has asked those people to bring him here to his court. And finally, they have brought him. And, king has thought that there should be something in between the mentor and also mentee, teacher and the disciple. And they have put a sort of cloth in between so that, they would not see each other. It so happened one day when Bilhanakavi went to his court, there was no that what we call as parada, or what we call as that in between that cloth, it was not there. So he could see first time the daughter of the king, and also she has seen. Her name is Amini Purna Tilaka. Full name is Amini Purna Tilaka. So she has seen him for the first time, and he also saw her for the first time. So they wanted to love each other, but king does not know that. And finally, when he came to know that his daughter is loving that boy, he has asked everybody to kill him. So those people have taken him to outside of the his kingdom, and they wanted to kill him. And he said only one thing: the moment I die, Yamini Purna Tilaka also will die. She would commit suicide. Please go and tell the king. Tell your king that she will die, she would commit suicide. When those people went and then told the king that she is loving very much wholeheartedly, and then king said, okay, bring him back. Don't kill him. Bring him back. He was brought back, and then king thought over, and then ultimately they have married together. So that was a brief story about Bilhana Kavi. The full name is Bilhana Kavi, and my father has put added that Kishor, so it has become Bilhana Kavi Kishor. My full name is Bilhana Kavi Kishor. If you go to my house and say Kavi or Kishor, nobody knows me. They call me as Bilhana only. All my friends, all my relatives, they know me only as Bilhana, not Kavi Kishor. So it so happened one day, some of my classmates, they went to my house when I was not there and asked, Kishor is there in your house? Then my mother replied, who is Kishor? There is no one by name Kishor. Then they said, Bilhana Kavi. Yes, he is my son. So he has gone out, he would come back. So therefore, all my friends, all my relatives, all my sisters and brothers, even today, they don't know me by name Kavi Kishor. They know me only as Bilhana. So that is in brief about Bilhana.
Wonderful, sir. An amazing name. Thank you so much. Sir, coming to science, sir, you had a wonderful paper on proline amino acid in plants and its role. That's quite amazing. That has received a wide attention of about 1,000 citations. What transpired you to take up that particular research? Could you please tell the young audience over here?
Yeah, from the beginning onwards, from the year 1981 onwards, I thought of doing something related to drought stress or salt stress. Not that we don't have water, we have enough water, but it is salty, where the plants cannot grow. Similarly, even there are some plants, xerophytes, when they can grow with less water, why not rice? Why not other plant systems? I always thought over on that one. So it so happened that I was working that time in the year 1991. I was working with Professor G.M. Reddy at the Department of Genetics, Usmania University. It so happened that I wanted to attend an international conference at Florida. So I went there at Miami. I went there, and then after listening to several people, I thought I should stay back for some time, and then have some experience in the area of plant abiotic stress tolerance. And I have approached Professor Deshpal Varmaji, and he was kind enough, to take me in his laboratory sometime in the year January 1992. And I have written back to the Osmani University that I would be staying for some time. And meanwhile, Professor Verma has written to the Rockefeller Foundation saying that, he would like to work on abatic stress tolerance and provided if you can give some funds and also a fellowship to Kishor. And they have agreed for that one. So he has asked me to work on proline biosynthetic pathway genes. And also because that time, people know that proline accumulates in plant systems. But what it does, during abatic stress tolerance, and also its mechanistic explanation, nobody could give. And Professor Verma has asked me to also isolate other genes in the pathway, which we could not do by, we have used, a different kind of, not using PCR system, but using different strategies, which we have failed. Actually, proline biosynthetic pathway gene, especially pyrroline 5-carboxylate synthetase gene, it was a bifunctional gene, unlike in the case of bacterial systems. In the case of bacteria, it is two different genes which encode, two different proteins. Whereas in the case of plant systems and also human beings, the two genes, got fused together and they produce only one enzyme, but a bifunctional enzyme which can perform the functions of both the genes. That has taken some time for us, to realize. Finally, the gene was cloned, and then, he has asked me to introduce that one into tobacco to test, whether plants really accumulate high proline, and also especially when they are exposed to the stress conditions. I have toiled together, for about 2.5 years at Biotechnology Center, Columbus, Ohio. I was not having any car. I was walking, in the snow. Columbus used to receive 3 or 4 feet of snow, and I was walking through the snow because I was not having any car or any other vehicle or any type of transportation. So, but I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed my stay there because there are several people in the laboratory and also several people in the other labs, who could become my friends. And then, again, there I used to work on Saturdays and Sundays without giving any gap because, my other colleagues in the department, in the laboratory, they also used to work, especially Chinese and also Koreans and Taiwanese. They also used to work. Therefore, I need to compete with them. So I have also worked, during Saturdays and Sundays. And that has ultimately fetched me a very good paper in plant physiology. So that's all about that one. Thereafter, of course, people started giving some mechanistic explanations about proline, and also people have started unfolding the different aspects of proline and also different functions of proline. So we have published, later on several other papers associated with proline biosynthetic pathway. So that is all about my proline story.
Oh, wonderful, sir. So if you really see, you have been, you have garnered an amazing experience on plant amino acids, and of course, you have steadfastly worked likewise also on veterinary or agricultural aspects of animals as well, along with your brother, Professor Ratnagiri, sir, as well. But if you really look back, sir, especially in plant-based sciences, I feel plant research is at least, I would say, 5 or 10 years behind the human-based research or the animal-based research. So, for example, when you are talking about the fusion proteins, I mean, in 1992, even at that point of time, there were a lot of pull-down essays that needs to be carried out in humans, but in plants, that was absolutely in infancy. Why is that, sir? Why is that, I mean, especially even in a country like India, I don't say that plant research is really mocked at, but why is it, plant research is really, at least, behind the animal research or the human research?
Many students and many scientists do not opt for plant research. The reason is, we have very few opportunities as far as, the jobs are concerned. Whereas, if you opt for human research, at least you can get some jobs, either in the government hospitals or private hospitals or somewhere or the other, you can get jobs, but not in the case of plant sciences. We have very few limited opportunities in the case of plant sciences. Even in our department, they look you down. In fact, I was looked down in the Department of Genetics, Osmania University, because I was working on the plant systems. Whereas all my colleagues in the department, excepting me, everybody was working on plant system, on human systems or other systems, Drosophila or other systems. I was the only person who was working in the Department of Genetics on plant systems. When I ask the students, what is that attracts you towards, humans, they say, sir, we don't have any opportunities in the case of plant systems if you work on plants. So therefore, we are running to the greener pastures. So maybe they are right, and that was the reason why plant sciences are still lagging behind, and research in India, especially, it is at its infancy, as you said. So that's all, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So moving further, if really look back into the other so-called wonderful traits that you have, you are also an unofficially very good homeopath. You prescribe medicines even for yourself, for your family, for your well-wishers, even for people like me. I mean, my sciatica, I was groaning with a lot of pain with sciatica, and you just give me a medicine, just with a simplest telephonic touch, giving my this thing, and you have given this, to the countless number of people. What is the art? What is the reason behind you getting this particular homeopath as a wonderful trait, sir, in you?
Yeah, so happened. I'm a farmer by birth, as I said, and I used to keep buffaloes and cows. I'm buffalo keeper or cow keeper. It so happened that I have taken all my buffaloes to the field one day, and in the field, we used to take palmyra fruits, especially in the summer. Thati munjalu, what we call in Telugu. So I did not take any food that day. I was eating only palmyra fruits. And I came back with all my buffaloes around 3 o'clock or 3:30. I came back home. That day I suffered with a stomach ache, severe stomach ache. And nobody could recognize that it was a appendicitis. And my father and my mother, they did not have money to take me to a hospital, a nearby hospital, which is 12 kilometers away. They did not have money. So in the village, we have only one homeopathic physician. That too, he did not study any BHMS or any other degree. He did not have any degree. With all his knowledge, he used to give homeopathic medicines, and it was a severe pain. Severe pain means I could not tolerate that much of pain, and they have given me some medicines, and it did not subside. It started around 3:15 or so in the afternoon, and it went on till 3 o'clock in the morning, next day morning, and it did not subside. And my father and my mother, they were just keeping quiet, and they did not do anything other than giving me homeopathic medicines. Around 3 o'clock or so, pretty early in the morning, it started subsiding, and that has awoken me. What is this medicine? And sometimes ideas, as you know pretty well, ideas are something really great, and some of those ideas, like theory of evolution or other the ideas are very, very great. And Hahnemann, the founder of homeopathy, also got one of those ideas. He himself got malaria one day, and he was taking something, and it did not subside. Somebody said, cinchona bark, you please take. There is a plant called cinchona, what we call as China in homeopathy, which produces chloroquine and other things. So he started taking increasing amounts of that particular medicine. It did not subside, and he thought, why should I take more medicine? And why not? He himself was an allopathic doctor, and he himself started thinking something different. He got the idea, why not? What would happen if we lower the doses, we would lower to some extent that nobody would be able to detect it even with HPLC or anything. So he started doing that one, and he used to get wonderful results. And he was getting wonderful results. It was a simple idea, but we could not prove or disprove even homeopathy today. Several people do not believe in homeopathy. So, but my homeopathic medicine, it has subsided all my stomach pain or appendicitis. Since then, I thought of reading those books, and I started reading. I still keep reading those books. As you said, several people, including Anil and Hima. One day, I just give an example. Hima came to me one day. Sir, I have been suffering with hand pain, and I went to the doctors, and they said, my nerve was damaged, and they asked me to undergo an operation. They don't do that one. We have some homeopathic medicines. I'll subscribe that one. Though I am not a doctor in homeopathy, though I don't have any official degree in homeopathy, I prescribed her only two medicines. One is arnica malt, if I remember, another is hypericum. After 2 months, she came back to me and said, "Sir, all my pain has gone. I'm relieved of the pain. I don't have to undergo any surgery." That was the words, said by Dr. Hima. Similarly, there are several people, including one Dr. Anil Gaddamidi, who did his PhD with me again, who is currently working at ICRISAT Hyderabad. He was suffering from ankle pain, severe ankle pain, and several doctors said, that it is impossible to repair that one or to subside or, to completely alleviate the pain. He suffered that one, for about 4 years or so. And he came to me one day and said, it appears that you prescribe some homeopathic drugs, and then, I want to take those things for my ankle pain. I had just given only one medicine, that is arsenicum album, and it has subsided after 3 months or so. Like that, there were several cases where I'm not sure why, but there were several cases, with the homeopathic medicines, I was able to alleviate the human pain, physical pain. Similarly, there was one woman who came to me one day, said, sir, I'm able to sleep during the daytime, but not during the night time. Every 5-10 minutes, I keep washing my hands. I go to the washroom and keep washing my hands. And so I have gone to several doctors, and they said there is no medicine for this one. I have just given only one dose of syphilinum, and after 2 months, she came back and said, "Sir, 90% of my symptoms were relieved." So sometimes these homeopathic medicines, they do wonders. Therefore, I keep in touch with that medicine, and I treat myself, with homeopathic medicines. Similarly, like you, I also suffer from sciatica pain, so I take those medicines. So I'm totally relieved of, just like you, I'm also totally relieved of the sciatica pain by using, homeopathic medicines. So that has my childhood suffering from appendicitis or stomach pain, that has led me to take some interest in homeopathy, sir. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much. So, slightly different question. So, now we have something called New Educational Policy, which was introduced this year. And there is also a small ray of hope or segment on secondary agricultural practices. So, and there has been a lot of farmer suicides over the last 2 decades in India. It is absolutely alarming as well sometimes. As a scientist and as a farmer, what is your take on this? What best could have been, which should not have been actually?
If you take other countries as an example, especially Japan and others, they buy all the produce from the farmers. Governments buy all the produce from the farmers, and then they sell it to the consumers. That is not happening in India, but we have middlemen. Middlemen, they buy and they sell it to the consumers with double the price. For example, you take any produce from a farmer, it is very, very cheap. For the cheaper prices, these middlemen, they buy, and they sell it to double or sometimes even triple the, triple it, and they sell it to the consumers, which is disgusting in this country. And given an opportunity, Indian farmers, they can produce, and we can meet the food demands for the next 50 years or so. I'm certain about that one. What is unfortunate is, they are not getting the remunerative prices, and they don't get the loans, proper loans from the banks or from other resources. They are not given loans, especially Indian women. They don't get any loans. There are several women farmers. They don't get any loans. Meager loans also they don't get. And these people, they maintain all the germplasm in the villages. If you go and see, they maintain all the germplasm of rice. They maintain all the germplasm of several other crop plants. But still, they are not recognized, and they don't get remunerative prices. That is the bad thing in this country. Unless government intervenes, and once if you give the remunerative prices to the farmers, I'm certain they can produce enough, and we can meet the food demands for the next 50 years or so in this country, sir. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir. Sir, another question which is close to our art, especially all our students. Sir, you always address your students as a doctor, or professor, or Garu, or G, with a wonderful invitation, with a pleasing smile. You give wonderful respect to everyone. When we ask, you give a very modest answer saying that it is your father or it is your parents now who told you to respect everyone. But sometimes, or many a time, the kind of expectations probably which you might have kept from your students, received or passed on to the next generation. Did you at any point of time probably regret, sir, that probably my students now has not really taken up this kind of respect, to their particular students at any point of time?
No, sir, not at all. And in the high school, and I was doing, I never had been to any elementary school, as I said. Suddenly, at the age of 10, my father has put me in the 6th grade. And when the teacher said, the capital of Andhra Pradesh is located at Dash, I thought Dash must be the capital of Andhra Pradesh because I never had been to any schools. I was ignorant of all those things. I started learning at the age of 11. I started learning 1, 2, 3 or ABC or E also. And then, the same teacher used to say, World Health Organization is located at Dash. And I thought, how many dashes are there in this world? So Dash must be the capital of Andhra Pradesh. Dash must be the location where World Health Organization is located. That must be the city where the World Health Organization is located and all that. So it has taken some time for me to realize that Dash is something, gap, in the sentence. Because, and the same English teacher, one day he said to me that, we should respect everybody. He himself has asked me one day when I was doing my 7th standard or so, what is your name? I did not have the, an answer that my name is Kishor because, my English was so bad, so poor. I studied only in Telugu medium, and at home also nobody used to speak English. My father, my mother, they were never educated. I could not answer that my name is Kishor. I said, it means, I do not know that my name is Kishor. And the same teacher, after some time, he said, we need to respect everybody. And either you should call others, as sir or madam or milord. So I remember that one, my childhood days at the school. So from then onwards, I keep saying, Andi or, as you say, Garu or Andi or, sir or madam. Unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not sure, today's generation is totally different. Whether they have taken that one, whether they have taken my, those words, or not, I'm not sure. But I don't have any regrets now. to say that my disciples do not follow all those things. It does not matter. If in case if they are settled well, in life, it does not matter whether they follow my words or not. But I don't have any regrets, sir.
Excellent, sir. I mean, that's where probably wonderful scientists like you and doyen of science like you would never keep any expectations. So the best way is not to keep expectations in life or expectations from anyone X or Y. That would really herald wonderful beginning in the future. Thank you, sir. A slightly similar question raised by Archie Shukla, one of the participants here. So scientists don't receive the kind of respect or importance they ought to in India, upon because of their field of research. So did it ever deter you just because you are a scientist?
Just before the pandemic, I was giving a lecture in our academic staff college, University Academic Staff College, where all the university professors, assistant professors, associate professors, other people, they come and they take, they update their knowledge in their domain. I was giving that talk. At the end of the talk, one of the assistant professors from the Department of Biochemistry from Osmania University has asked me, sir, this year you have published 2 papers in Nature Genetics, but our Vice Chancellor, our University Vice Chancellor did not call you, it seems, to have a cup of tea or any other felicitation and all that. I said, I did not work for that purpose. Does not matter. What matters is if it is useful to somebody, to some scientist or somebody, or to the farmers, that's all I want. There was my father used to say that, Vagbhushanam Bhushanam. That means, in this life, it is not the clothes that decorate you. Na lepanam, na vastram, na snanam. That means, if you take a bath, that would not decorate you. If you wear, a high profile suit, that would not decorate you. Or, na lepanam means, if you apply something to your skin, that would not decorate you. What decorates and what is the decoration for any human being is Vagbhushanam Bhushanam. That means, your word is important. If you respect others, they would also respect you. And, I think, those words I still remember what my father said. This is exactly he said, Vagbhushanam Bhushanam to the person. Therefore, we need to keep respecting others. And if somebody does not, honor you because you have published something or you have achieved something, that should not deter you from taking the things or from taking the threads forward. So same thing I said, to the assistant professor in the class. And several people asked me, how is that Vice Chancellor did not call you? Or how is that you are not honored? I said, I'm not bothered about that one. What bothers me is, science. That's all. That keeps me, if I ask a question to myself, I need to address that one. Unfortunately, I that keeps me bothering, but not these things. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Excellent. Thank you so much. Sir, last 2 or 3 more questions. I sincerely appreciate your time. Sir, during your 45 years of your illustrious scientific career, I'm sure that there have been many disagreements which you might have put it in an agreeable way. Narrate, or can you tell us how did you learn this particular art? Because many young students these days they don't know how to disagree. I mean, probably they might take up disagreements as something pretty harsh. So even for your students as well, what I also learned is you also put it in a very gentle tone, in a very pleasing tone. That probably this is not the way, and probably this is this should be the way. So how did you take up disagreements in an agreeable way in your life? Be it you as a professor or maybe you imparting teaching to your students, or you yourself as a mentee to your wonderful mentors?
Again, my you know, uh, pretty young life has taught me these things, in the high school or in the college. My teachers used to say, see, you need to listen to others. That's a sort of experience. That is how you grow. That is how you enhance your knowledge in a particular domain. So keep listening to others, and whether it is good or bad, keep listening to others and take up everything, absorb everything what they say. If it is good, take it. If it is bad, leave it. So therefore, when some criticism comes, when you send a paper, when some criticism comes, there may be some good points, there may be some bad points. Usually, they give very good comments, and that improves your manuscripting. So that is very very important. So it does not matter whether he is a big guy or a small guy, whether he is young or old, but we need to keep those things in a positive way, and and we should have a positive mind, I feel. So that helps you in improving your manuscripts and then getting them published in international journals. So it is positive mind, positive way of thinking, and also the arguments that we receive, they're good for you, and they're for improving your quality of your papers only. So we should not take them in other way. For example, recently you might have seen that one of our papers in frontiers in plant sciences, it has come back and forth for about 5 times, 6 times, and all that. They raised several questions, and we used to answer them. So we have never taken them as very bad, even though it has come for six times it has come, or 7 times it has come for revisions. Does not matter for us. And each time, we were kept on improving our manuscript. That has helped. Ultimately, they have agreed that manuscript has been improved, and we have put a very good time in improving the manuscript. They themselves, reviewers themselves, have agreed. So therefore, we need to keep some time, listen to them, and then we need to improve our manuscripts. That is important, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, if really see you and Professor Giri, sir, you both are wonderful scientists. Earlier, before I knew each other, I mean, at least myself, I thought you would always have a wonderful chemistry with your students. But ever since I knew you both, ever since I knew you both interacting, you both also have a wonderful chemistry as well. English with a wonderful respect that you have for each other. You also write an email saying, "Dear brother," in a wonderful tone, where the young generation today should also learn how to respect their family members as well. What is this? What is this beauty? Can you please tell us what is that particular beauty and chemistry between Professor Kavi Kishor sir and Professor Giri sir?
So ours is a very small village, and we used to live together in a small thatched house. And probably that was the reason, we grew each other at the same small place, very small place, very thatched house, very small place, full of slush. In the house also, full of slush, and we used to live with buffaloes and all that. We co-lived, rather. We co-lived, with buffaloes and cows. And when my brother said, elder brother said, you take care of these buffaloes and you take care of this one, or you take care of that one, we used to do that one. And my younger brother also is like that. So because we did not have even few morsels of food, to take, listen, it so happened one day I did not have money to eat, to take my dinner. That day, those days, I'm talking about sometime 1968. A plate of idli was costing only a charana. That means 25 paisa. I did not have that one. So I asked my brother, "Do you have at least 25 paisa with you?" And my younger brother, and we have shared that one. So from the childhood onwards, We used to share the work, we used to share everything, and then we loved each other. Even my elder brothers are like that only. My first brother, second brother, and third, and my younger brother is Giri. All the four brothers were like that. We love each other, and all of us, we write poetry in Telugu. My elder brother, second brother, my even younger brother, we all of them, we write poetry, and we are all farmers by birth, and they used to ask me to do this one, that one, some work or the other, and we have obliged. We never said no to them. Not that because they are elder to us, but it's a sort of love and affection. They said, they used to teach me, my elder brothers and also my younger brother, they used to teach me, okay, life is like this, and you need to follow this one, you need to follow that one. So they used to teach me. So we have that sort of chemistry among all the four brothers. All the four brothers are like that, not just two, but all the four.
Wonderful, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, Anil has a question here. Will light pollution result in decrease of yield in plants?
Light?
Would light pollution in decrease of plant yield?
Yeah, light pollution means, if it is photo-oxidative stress, if it is high light intensities, certainly that would create, reactive oxygen species. So certainly that would decrease the yield. So it has to be moderate. The light intensities have to be moderate. In summer, the plants do not produce enough. In fact, yields come down because of high light intensities as well as because of the temperatures, both combined. So high light intensities are not good for the plant systems. Yeah. Anything else, Dr.
Yes,
Anil?
sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Anil, I hope that that would answer your question. Yeah. Sir, another important that I always wanted to ask you. Sir, over 50 PhD fellows whom you have produced, 50 of them are your favorites. But do you have any one or pick up and say that, yes, he is really fitting into my shoes, or he is fitting into my temperament? He or she is really fitting into my temperament. One or two such people to name, sir?
I don't think one fellow would fit into the shoes of other. But I have very few good students like Dr. Anil, Dr. Hima. Both of them have produced very good papers. Besides that one, Dr. Vanika, who is currently in Germany, she's a wonderful researcher, and she has produced two papers in Nature and Nature Genetics rather, and those are, of course, Ranadhir Gupta, who has taught me several things in molecular biology, who is currently working in Hyderabad itself. Like that, I always, keep learning from the students. I never, look them as my students. I always think that they are teaching me something in life. In fact, I have learned many things. Even today, I learn, several things from my students. Irrespective of whether it is Anil or somebody else, I keep learning from them. It is the students, who educate you. When a stage comes, it's the students who educate you. So we have to keep listening to them, and then keep understanding them, and then learn more things. Improve your domain knowledge, and also technical skills. So we should not think that they are the students, but they are your mentors also. As I said, some of the very bright students like Anil, Hima, Vanika, and then Ranadhir Gupta, they're excellent students. But I don't think that somebody has to fit into my shoes. So not necessarily.
Right. Thank you, sir. It's been an amazing Sciversation that we have had. I know your day starts pretty early in the morning. You hardly sleep. You sleep just 3 hours or 2 hours every day. We can see you replying to all the emails and giving responses in WhatsApp, very quickly at whatever point of time. Not just wonderful scientist, farmer, human, but also a wonderful husband as well, and a great mentor to people like me and my wife. and also to many folks like Anil and Hima. We always wish that Professor Kishor sir would publish and help us publish, as many articles we could. But there is also one small request from many of your students, sir. I was told that you also sing very good songs. You're also a very good poet as well, as the name sounds. So before we sign off, if we can request you to either give us your wonderful hearing, or probably at least a small poem which touches your heart.
Yeah, I'm never a singer, not. But I used to recite poems. At least 1,000 poems I got by heart, not just one or two, but 1,000 poems. And some of them were very difficult to recite. One day, my father has asked me one difficult poem, and he has asked me to recite it just in 5 minutes. It is difficult also, very, very difficult, extremely difficult. In 5 minutes to recite and also to get it by heart, it is extremely difficult. But I could do that one. And the bet was, 4 annas. That means, 25 paisa again. He has given me 25 paisa on the spot. I just, recite that one, and then finally the poem that is dearer to my heart is Okacho Sakamularagins, Okacho Utkushta Salyodanam, Okacho Nelanu Pavalinch, Okacho Oparu Pusetsapai, Sukhaman Dukhaman Madindalam Padu, Karyasadhaku. That is dearer to my heart. At the beginning I said, at the end also I'm saying, but the poem that my father has asked me to get it by heart within 5 minutes, let me recite that one. It is difficult to pronounce also, but let me recite that one. Pramadha Ganesha Varshamulu Pattaga Ratrula Nita Janjanam Namanama Namruna Namruna Namrunam Runam Jamakitu Jankritam Kituku Jankritam Kinukitu Kirumani Kinkini Dhimataku Dhikkutaka Dhikkanim Rogan Bhesharavamal. Meaning is something different, but what is important here is your accent towards those things. And my father has asked me to get this one by heart within 5 minutes. He did not give me more than that time, but I could do that one. That was the time. The time was different, sir. But now I cannot do that one. Same thing. Such a difficult poem. If you ask me to recite it, or to get it by heart, may be difficult for me now.
Right.
Yeah, but I still remember. The fact is that I still remember several poems, from Mahabharata and also from other epics. I still remember several, not just one or two, hundreds of poems. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Oh, wonderful, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So one final thing, I forgot to ask one question from one participant, from Yasin. She asked, sir, if there is any, I know many researchers are working, using a lot of computers and mobile phones. Is there any medicine that you could suggest for the students, for migraine?
Migraine? Yeah, there are few. Belladonna is one. And if it is right-sided headache, right-sided migraine, then we have that is what we call right-sided, and left-sided we have some other medicine. Left-sided it is Laxis, and right-sided it is Sanguinaria. Yes, I remember now. It is Sanguinaria, and depending upon other symptoms, we need to suggest other medicines. Definitely, belladonna, sanguinaria, laxis, these are some of the medicines which work, wonderfully well, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, do you have any quick comments before we say namaste and goodbye to you?
I just like to thank Dr. Prashant Sorojra, and also for giving me an opportunity today to have some good conversation. I hope that it is not rigmarole, but I hope that it has inspired at least some of the students. I thank you very much, sir, for giving me an opportunity to have a conversation with you. That's all.
Thank you so much, sir. We all students would like to thank you once again, sir. What all we could only do is give you a wonderful standing ovation to the wonderful scientist whom we always take inspiration from you. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time and energy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Sugunakar.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I just joined, sir. Just came from the university.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all. So, friends, that's it. So, it's such a wonderful inspiration from Professor Kishor, sir. He's always amazing, smiling, pleasing, and heartening always. The real scientist, the real farmer in him is really seen today. Sir is always nice, so he's always reachable in his email, even in times of activities. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you again. Yeah, bye-bye, all of you.